Hi, this is AJ. Welcome to episode 65 of Here's What I Watched. In this episode, I want to talk about the Chris Evans and Ana de Armas movie, Ghosted. I did like the movie. I didn't like it as much as I wanted to like the movie, but I did like the movie, and I would recommend it, but it is kind of a marginal recommendation. And at the beginning, the movie is just kind of a basic romantic comedy. It becomes something else at some point, but it starts off as a romantic comedy. It's about a guy who lives in D.C., who works at a farmer's market, and after getting off on the wrong foot with a customer at first, ends up having a great time with her. But then she disappears as she's not answering his texts. He's really hung up on her, but she's not answering any of his texts. And he realizes he left his inhaler in her bag, and he's got a tracker on the inhaler, so he uses it to find out she's in London, and spur of the moment decides he's going to go to London to try to surprise her, and gets mixed up in some international intrigue, and she has to rescue him. It turns out she works for the CIA. And once you get to that point in the movie, it becomes as much an action comedy as it is a romantic comedy. And adding all the action comedy stuff to the mix really helps make the movie work better as a movie, because the romantic comedy stuff on its own was only working so well. For whatever reason, the two leads don't seem to have a whole lot of chemistry together, except maybe for when they're yelling at each other. So once the action kicks in and people start shooting at them and things are going terribly wrong, it tends to give them some more things to yell at each other about, which helps make the movie work better. Ghosted is far from a perfect film, but I like the cameos. It made me laugh a few times. The action scenes were kind of generic, but they mostly worked for me. And I like the soundtrack. There are a few songs I didn't know, but even they didn't rub me the wrong way. This movie is not anywhere near as good as the Tom Cruise, Cameron Diaz movie Night and Day, which is the most direct comparison I think I could make. That was a much better movie, but this is worth watching. Don't get Apple TV Plus just to see this movie, but if you've already got a way to watch the movie, it's worth seeing if you keep your expectations low.